Hello everyone, welcome back to a World of Warships video. Today's video is, well, it's a fairly ordinary group of videos because I haven't played for a while and I have decided to go back into something that I know relatively well. No, not the Fiji this time, not the Leander, but the Monarch, which is a fantastic Tier 8 British battleship. So the British battleship line I'd consider to be one of the most consistent battleship lines in the game. It's very good. They're not particularly tough, but they have good HE, and they're sort of straight up the middle and they're sort of all general purpose. And with the good HE, you spend a lot of time lighting fires and you get a little bit of respite from destroyers, because the smart ones do tend to try and keep their distance, or at least so a bit of map awareness, and you're in a lot better state than, let's say, if you're in something a bit different, which doesn't have often the HE loaded. So what we're doing here is, this is the Golden Channel map. We are heading towards the cap because, well, that's our job, to cap it. It can be a little bit tougher doing it in a British battleship, but still fairly capable. Also, this has David Beattie, the legendary captain, in it, and as you can see, I've got some of my premium consumables because I forgot to unload them, which means that this thing has super heals. I think it heals about 10,800 hit points worth of damage per time I press that little button. So first of all, we've got Suicide Squad here. That's never a good place to go. I don't know what the Kagero was doing. That is not overextending. That is beyond overextending. This Zara is also overextending. Probably coming in to try and support the Kagero, but unfortunately, yeah, not a good place to be. So, yeah, and meanwhile, what I'm trying to do is, well, yep, just tank the cap. So there's the enemy battleship, the Genizer now, which is a tier 7 battleship, has fairly hard hitting guns, not very accurate at this range. Behind us we have another battleship. I'm shielded by the island and I'm sort of happy to be that way. Here it comes around the point of the island. Now what's interesting about this game and worth watching is the fact that after the initial charge into the cap, having gutted their team of some of their lighter units, which would be used for protecting some of these heavier units, the heavier units have decided on a strategy of envelopment, which is just fine by me because envelopment means nothing at all in the 7-minute game on this map. So our carrier might be at risk, but to be fair for our carrier, probably the best thing he can do at the moment is charge up the middle, because no one is up the middle, although he'd be spotted doing it, so maybe he would be targeted. He's definitely aware of what's going on. Those battleships up to the top right there are definitely milling around. So yeah, so this game is pretty much in the bag. You can see we've got a fairly large green line there at about 303, so nearly, just over 30% of the way towards victory. This battleship on his own is, well, he's in trouble. I'm not sure what sort of battleship it is. I can't read that on my tiny screen. Mutsu. Yes, well, unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of power. So that's a Black Amagi, which is our teammate. Tier 7 Mutsu never really stood a chance. So, yeah, at this point, the game's all over. But these ships did have a much better chance had they stuck together. Often what I'll find is that I'm in the cap on my own trying to hold it, and there's a bunch of ships clustered up on the far side. So we're doing exactly the right strategy here. We're pushing them out of the cap. We're just basically holding and not overextending ourselves and making it very difficult for them to try and reclaim the cap. And at 4 ships to 6, very difficult is becoming, well, at the state of this guy's health, very difficult is rapidly becoming impossible. Indianapolis goes down. He's not really much of a, without any ships to support, his purpose in the game is pretty much, well, yeah, he didn't really have much hope for anything. My front guns, oh no, there they go, they managed to clear the island. So we're going to pump some shots into the Genize now here. We've got another battleship, an enemy battleship, hiding behind the enemy island, New Mexico. So it is a couple of tier 8s against tier 7, so that's pretty unfortunate. But hey, it's only a 7-minute battle, another battle's coming along. So I never really bother to complain about the matchmaker, because you never really become good at something if every time you go out to fight it's easy. So just like anything, you know, in sports or in anything else, if you're up against the best, you become better. And if you, so no point in complaining about the matchmaking. This guy here, nice and simple. He's stopped. We'll start lighting some fires on him. Our black Amag is heading over there. As you can see, I haven't even really had to pop a heal. And if I do pop a heal at this point, my green bar will probably go all the way up to about within 5% of max. So there's, the David Beatty and premium heal combination on the Monarch is a brutal one for recovering hit points. Also helps because the Monarch is relatively tanky. So obviously David Beatty with 4 heals, premium heals on the Cheshire, is a great way to burn through heals. But these repair kits, not needing them, not going to burn them on a game like this unless I really need to. It is nice you get more points at the end of the game if you're alive, so it is a bit of a difference from World of Warships PC. Here we are, we've got ourselves a couple of targets, 46 seconds left. Can we get both of them? This guy's burning nicely, he's gone, nothing I can do here, but I might be the only guy in range of this apart from our aircraft carrier, and I think our aircraft carrier in this game may actually be a bot. Is he? It's hard to tell. I'll be able to tell when the game ends up. Unfortunately, I do record these and then I do record the games and then narrate them sometime later. So often the details of the game, well, sometimes it's like watching them for the first time. Sometimes I remember what goes on in the games, but sometimes it's like, oh, did that really happen? But I do remember this game. Took them out in the last second of the game. Got a Confederate award. So how to take the Golden Channel. So we got 1,000 points. They got 70. Couple of their ships just raced too far ahead. 68,000 damage, not too bad considering the fact it was mostly a defensive game, and came second on the list. I think our does look like, no, it's not a bot, the carriers. Anyway, so there we go, like comfortable old shoe. Great to get back into the Monarch. Nice and easy to break my way back into the game. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.